I'm Sami Bell, creator of Sure Parenting, and for nearly a decade, I've helped parents break generational cycles. The key? Reparenting. Over the years, I've also learned that this work isn't just for parents, it's for anyone ready to heal the lingering effects of the past. Most of us carry protective parts that take over during emotionally charged moments, and those parts deserve compassion, not shame. When you take an unshaming approach to healing, one that empowers your inner parent to lead with curiosity and care, you begin to make allies of all of your parts, the inner critic, the overexplainer, the avoider, the judge, and more. As these parts feel seen, heard, and understood, they can return to their original valuable role, supporting you, not sabotaging you, so your inner child can finally receive the love, safety, and rescue they've been waiting for from you. Hi, and welcome back to Reparenting Realm. In our last episode, we explored how shame and enmeshment can sneak into our lives and derail our parts work. If you haven't listened to that one yet, I highly recommend going back and listening as it's foundational to what we're diving into today. Here's why. Sneaky parts, especially those shaped by shame or enmeshment, tend to hijack our internal system. They mean well, but they override the calm, curious energy of our inner parent because they don't feel safe trusting anyone else to lead. Recognizing these parts and naming them is the first step toward unblending, and unblending is what makes space for the inner parent to emerge. So today, we're talking about your inner parent. This is the steady, wise, grounded internal figure who takes on the role of gentle leadership within your internal system. In IFS, you might hear the term self used, but I find that thinking of it as an inner parent helps to clarify what this part actually does. Plus, parenting has been my wheelhouse for over 10 years. I came about this healing work a bit backwards. I learned how to treat my children, and then it dawned on me that maybe I could start to treat myself how I was treating them. And then I discovered it was much easier to show up in my parenting when I treated myself with the compassion and empathy that I needed as a kid. Sometimes the idea of a parent brings up less than warm and happy feelings, though, and that's fair. The reason I've chosen to stick with this label, despite some of my own parts wanting to push back, is because while those parts are valid in wanting to disown any notion of being owned, controlled, belittled, shamed, or harmed by a parent figure, parenting doesn't have to look like that. In fact, I genuinely believe that we all deserved a loving, kind, patient, compassionate parent who kept us safe, attuned to our emotions, met our needs, saw us as a whole person, and repaired when they accidentally hurt us. Since the root of the resistance to the parent label is the same unmet need as the presence I intend to bring with this part, I feel there's value in becoming the different parent we needed to fill the gaps left from our childhood. If you specifically cannot accept the term inner parent, that's okay. Perhaps consider something like self or sage or guide if you can manage to translate as I continue on. Thanks for sticking with me. If you're listening to podcasts like this, chances are you also didn't have a regulated leader to learn from when you were growing up. Whether your parents lost their temper a lot, used fear and control to manipulate you, neglected you and left you to your own devices, or were so inconsistent bouncing between different expressions that you never knew which parent to expect, you lacked the co-regulation and attunement needed to develop security within yourself. Now that childhood is over, it's up to us to create our own security. Psychology calls this earned secure attachment. I'm not in love with the name, but the point is that it's possible to give yourself the responses you needed as a kid. Our brains are neuroplastic, which means that they can change even after childhood is over. With consistency, you can create your own corrective experiences and teach your parts new beliefs and behaviors to help you more effectively now that you're in a new system. You can free yourself from being controlled by parts holding on to the past to keep you alive. Before now, when we were dysregulated or felt threatened, our protective parts took over. The inner parent is who we cultivate as adults to take back the lead. You can expand your capacity, build your resilience, and find flexibility in your nervous system because the parts that were hijacking it have been met, seen, and reparented by the inner parent. This is an incredibly powerful part to utilize in your healing journey. Your inner parent is essential for healing because it gives your parts someone they can finally trust. Instead of letting your inner critic run the show or your avoidant part take the wheel, you begin turning inward and asking questions. I notice something feels overwhelming. Where do I feel that? What is that feeling called? What is it telling me I need right now? Which part of me is activated? What is that part trying to protect me from? What bad thing do they think will happen? What does that part need to feel seen, understood, appreciated? As the internal world has been addressed, what do I need on the outside? Do I need a limit, a boundary to make a request? This shift from reacting as a part to responding to a part is the beginning of healing. The inner parent says, I see you. I hear you. I've got this. So, what does the inner parent look and feel like in practice? Well, they are a calm, connected, grounded presence. They have the ability to be with and validate distress, not race to make it go away. They hold faith that the parts have positive intent for the system. Sometimes they're just operating on old information. They are non-judgmental and consistently curious. They have the ability to take other parts' perspectives and empathize. They are willing to slow down and listen compassionately. They can hold loving boundaries without punishment or shame. They have confidence without arrogance, knowing your personal power. They have clarity that isn't rigid, trusting inner authority and intuition. And they trust in general. They don't have to control or take over. They patiently let the body, brain, nervous system, and parts move toward healing and integration without force. They maintain openness to learning, updating, and shifting. Does that help you sense your inner parent at all? You might actually feel like you don't even have an inner parent yet. And that's okay, because you can build it up. Like a muscle at the gym, it's there, just maybe a little underutilized until now. But every time that you pause before calling yourself a name, every time that you notice your overwhelm without spiraling down into it, every time you choose a nurturing response, you are building the inner parent. Here are some simple practices to begin connecting to your inner parent. The first is name the part that's activated. I notice a part of me that's feeling really anxious. Give it a name. This separates you from your emotion. You aren't anxious. A part is feeling anxious. This noticing automatically puts you into an inner parent space. Pause and breathe, creating a little space. Bringing conscious control to your body helps empower your next steps. Speak from the inner parent to a part. Of course you feel anxious. I'm here with you. You're practicing the skills of the inner parent, even if it feels silly, and you can notice how it lands and how your system actually needs that compassion. Ask what the part needs. What are you afraid will happen? This helps the part to release control of the steering wheel. It sees you're taking them seriously. Their message will be heard. That's their whole goal, their job. So if it's working, they can ease up. Offer comfort and guidance. I hear your worry. That makes so much sense. Here's what's different now. I can handle this. You did your job. Thank you. Sometimes if a part is feeling really worried of letting go, you can imagine sitting with them in a calm place. Dr. Becky mentions a park bench. I'm partial to a blanket on the sand at the beach. Either way, visualize the inner parent gently placing a hand on that part's back. Not fixing, not pushing, just being present. There are days you won't feel like you can be the inner parent. That's normal. If you've had trauma, neglect, or chaos in your early life, there may be no blueprint for this role. In those moments, you can ask, Okay, well then what would someone safe and loving do, right? It doesn't feel like me right now, but I can imagine. Or you can borrow an archetype for a while. Think of a wise elder. Mine is Magi from Ferngully. Think of a loving grandparent. If it's not your own, you can think of one from TV, like the grandma in Moana. Or think of a kind teacher or mentor. If you don't have one, use Mr. Rogers. He's amazing. Even a fictional character with wisdom and grace can be a stand-in. Obviously, I lean this way, as 2 of my 3 examples are from cartoons. Let the archetype model what the inner parent might sound like until it becomes your own voice. Of course, your inner parent doesn't have to be a singer. Have you seen someone on TikTok that just speaks to your heart, like Mama Tot? What if your inner parent talked to you that way? If it resonates, give it a shot. With practice, you'll create your just right voice. You want to try something with me now? I'm going to read some phrases that the inner parent may say to the inner parts. Some things that you maybe needed to hear. Your job is to notice how they land in your body. I see you. I hear you. I believe you. I'll listen to you as long and as often as you wish. You make sense. Of course you feel this way. You were never too much. Their capacity was not your fault or responsibility. You're allowed to rest because you're human. You don't have to earn it. Your needs matter to me. You don't have to earn love. You are lovable as you are. You're safe now. I've got you. You didn't deserve what happened to you. It's okay to feel this. I'm staying with you. You're not alone anymore. I'll walk with you through it. Do you find that one hits differently than the others? That may be your personal flavor of inner parent right now. As that need is met, it may shift. Practice speaking as your inner parent, whether saying aloud or journaling or even recording in a voice memo to yourself. Let your parts hear the message that you need. Try when you're activated or overwhelmed, but also in calm times, like when you're laying in bed before sleep. Notice which ones feel soothing and save them. Maybe put them on a sticky note on your mirror. Also, keep note of any that feel awkward or even triggering. It could be that there's a part that needs more tending so it can build trust over time before it allows that level of softness. Especially if kindness came at a cost when you were growing up. Don't worry, this part is just protecting you. Thank it and promise you'll be back. Then follow through. With time, it will soften and allow the corrective experience to land in your system. As your inner parent grows, your whole system begins to relax. Your parts stop scrambling for control because they keep finding that you actually have got this when you say you do. Your nervous system finds more regulation because it's being seen and trusted, and you're receiving its messages in an appropriate manner. This feeling of belonging with yourself helps you to build trust and confidence, which begets more success in this journey. You begin to repair more easily in your relationships, including forgiving yourself, to set boundaries without guilt, saying yes and no with clarity, to feel less hijacked by your emotions, to care for your inner child with tenderness and joy, to appreciate your protectors and the job they've had your whole life, to understand how your system is applying old learning to current life events, and just how wise the body has been to hold those lessons when they were so vital in your childhood. To update the information your system runs on with patience and understanding, not shame. And the biggest shift, you stop abandoning yourself. That's what the inner parent offers. Consistent, attuned, compassionate presence. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few journaling prompts to further explore your inner parent and their power to positively impact you. What would my inner parent sound like today? Is there a character or an archetype I want to emulate? What does my inner parent not say or do? What does it feel like when I'm in the inner parent space? What does my body do differently? Are my shoulders back? Do I have a soft, knowing, patient grin? Do I have an open chest or calm, folded hands? What qualities tell me my inner parent is at play? What behaviors? What parts of me are still unsure about trusting this new leadership? What do they need to know before they will feel safe? How can my inner parent meet those needs? Take your time journaling this week. There's more questions than in the past. This inner parent part is a key player in all of the rest of the parts work that we'll do. So don't be afraid to pause here as long as you need to cultivate the right fit for you. If you'd like more support in building your inner parent, please join us inside Cycle Breakers Circle, my group coaching community on the School app for regulating the nervous system, reparenting, and reclaiming your self-authority, plus real-time support as you navigate this healing in everyday life. It's a safe space to be witnessed, reflect with others on a similar path, and practice embodying your inner parent with guidance and compassion. And next time in Reparenting Realm, we're going to talk about how our kids mirror our parts and how noticing this can unlock massive healing opportunities, which is how I got to this space myself, so I'm a fan of using this brain quirk to benefit the whole family. Thanks for listening, and remember, each of your parts has a purpose and your body wants to heal. When you get curious about their messages, gently witness their pain, and create safety through your inner parent, healing begins to unfold. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You deserve it.